reading has not only been educating for me, but also very nurturing. As a mom who's very busy with everyday demands and responsibilities of motherhood, carving out time to read, if not virtually impossible, is very difficult. However, doing so does wonders not only for your mind, but also for your soul. So today I'm going to share with you the top 4 books I recommend you to read if you're a Christian mom. So firstly, Quiet by Naomi Vaccaro. I featured this in some of my vlogs a few months back, and its subtitle says Creating Grace-Based Rhythms for Spending Time with Jesus. So I'd like to think that I've been consistent with my quiet time relatively consistent with my quiet time, but since giving birth, it's been harder, to go back to how quiet times were before becoming a mother, because when you give birth, you breastfeed almost every hour, and there are so many things on your plate. There's sleeplessness, you're deprived of sleep, and all that. It's so hard to just do the basic things, going to the bathroom and taking a bath, eating meals. So I was overwhelmed during the newborn phase as a new mom. But when years later, when I read this, I realized that quiet times could look differently in different seasons of life. Of course, I don't have that luxury of time anymore when I was single, where I could just read and journal for 3 hours or more. But now it's more limited, and I thank God that He also corrected me that quiet time in itself is not the end, but Jesus is. And if we're focused, if we're in tune with how Jesus is speaking to us through the season we're in, then our quiet times will not be driven by guilt, but driven by grace, and ultimately driven by the person of Christ and not an ideal. So I definitely recommend this, and I want to read it again, hopefully before this year ends. I finished reading it for the first time back in January. So Naomi Vaccaro is the creator of the Wholehearted Community. She specializes in journaling and quiet time. Secondly, this is a specific recommendation from my fellow pastors' wives. This is Brave and Beautiful, Serving God with Courage and Grace in Marriage and Ministry by Donna Castillo Tan. So there are many biblical principles also on homemaking and family in this. There's also a lot of practical wisdom when it comes to growing, nurturing, and clarifying your marriage, clarifying the roles in the marriage. Another is a practical book by James Clear. It's, maybe you know this, Atomic Habits. It's a very popular book on productivity and habit building. Tiny changes, remarkable results, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. So I actually also have the app called Atoms. It's very educational on the specific mindsets you need to have in order to build lifelong habits, long-term habits. And it's very useful for parenting, because as mothers, we are the first people to influence our children, to influence the habits that they grow and strengthen. So it's very helpful. And the last one is by a veteran mom by Sally Clarkson. It's Leaning on the Promises of God for Moms. So this is like a daily devotional, although they're not, the devotionals or the meditations are not dated, but they're all in the context of motherhood and homemaking. It says, "You, dear mother, are a hero. Every day you serve as a teacher, spiritual director, friend, and so much more to your children. In leaning on the promises of God for moms, find encouragement and inspiration for your motherhood journey." So, yeah, I hope these recommendations are a blessing to you. And let me know if you've read any of the books that I've mentioned, and what is your experience like, or any reflection that you want to share. Bye, and see you in the next. God bless, Faith Mom.